Facebook is one of the most used social media platforms to date. It started off as a small social media platform for Harvard University students who enjoyed sharing information with their peers. Facebook started off in 2004, where Mark Zuckerberg and three of his friends launched the Facebook. As the website continued to grow, the Facebook was changed to facebook.com in 2005 after the IP address was bought for $200,000. In the following years, Facebook evolved into a social network available to everyone in the world that had a registered email address. By 2007, Facebook reached over 30 million users worldwide, making it the largest free social networking site to ever exist. Today, Facebook is still able to maintain a large user base through offering a product and then monetizing this user base through mobile advertising, which is the company's key revenue stream. The introduction of the like button in 2010 disrupted the brands and businesses that use Facebook in the future. In 2012, Facebook was forced to go public. One of the reasons being was that Facebook had successfully grown its user base and developed its own business model towards a mature brand. However, it now needed to focus on growing and developing its business model in order to remain competitive and not to end up as the next MySpace or Friendster. Facebook was able to pull off the biggest IPO in history, raising a whopping $16 billion. What followed was an aggressive acquisition strategy, which could also be seen in many of Facebook's competitors in the tech industry. Microsoft is one of those competitors. The company started off in 1975, where Bill Gates and Paul Allen had a dream of creating a software application that makes the power of the PC useful and accessible for everybody. They made their first product, a basic computer language for the Altair 8800 that was inspired by an article in the Popular Electronics magazine. It was a life-changing product that successfully exceeded sales over $1 million. By the early 1980s, personal computers had increased in popularity. Microsoft was able to create a software program that would be bringing software technology to schools, homes, and businesses alike. By the end of the decade, there were more than 90 million PCs worldwide, and Microsoft's vision of a PC on every desk in every home was fast becoming a reality. By 1995, Microsoft's Windows 95 became the best-selling software production in history. In contrast to Facebook, Microsoft's acquisition strategy began early on in the life of the company. Successful acquisitions enabled Microsoft to develop its first operating system, as well as PowerPoint and Hotmail. The Microsoft Corporation has purchased more than 150 companies so far. However, many of its big successes have been overshadowed by the deals that flopped or didn't go through. This has swiftly changed over the last few years, where Microsoft seems to now be lacking strategic vision as they begin to broaden its acquisition approach. To discuss this further, it will be necessary to first look closer at the characteristics of the tech and ICT industry. The tech industry is highly competitive and prone to rapid change through the introduction of new disruptive technologies. High costs of exit, a large number of players with minimal product differentiation, and the lack of ability to expand into other sectors have fueled the competitive rivalry that exists amongst current players. In order to survive, companies operating in this sector need to continuously innovate and adapt to changing user trends to keep engagement levels high. Customers engaging with these companies in the tech sector hold high bargaining leverage as a result of the large-scale competition and low switching costs. This makes it easy to migrate between different alternatives offered in the market. With more information available on the products and services, it's easy to pick and choose alternatives through evaluation of available information. Low barriers to entry in the ICT sector further intensifies the competition in the market. Rapid growth and large customer base make the industry highly appealing to new entrants, while at the same time the well-established brands in the market and high starting capital required act as deterrents. The rapidly evolving digital landscape makes it easy for innovative players to penetrate the relatively undifferentiated market. As technology continues to evolve in the ICT market, there will be innovations of products and services that perform similar functions to that of established products. Such substitutes can threaten the potential of existing established products. To counter the threats of such substitutes, existing products need to create unique selling propositions, provide features which will offer more value to customers compared to these substitutes. Microsoft and Facebook are both, amongst others, in the race to establish the strongest hold over people's digital lives. Both companies have incorporated acquisition as a key strategic tool. While Microsoft seemed to lack strategic vision in the past, it's yet to define its position beyond its software stronghold. Facebook has been able to establish itself as a leader in the social media market. Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg continuously states that Facebook does one thing really well, and that's all they focus on: to connect the world. So while many competitors in the industry do a lot of different things, Facebook leverages itself and its capabilities to do one thing really well. According to industry observers, Facebook has right now exactly 3 competitive advantages. These are their technological capabilities, economies of scale and infrastructure, and network effects. However, Facebook's recent M&A strategy emphasizes standalone, single-purpose apps falling under one corporate umbrella, Facebook Incorporated, which has also been described as the shepherd watching over a flock of sheep. Two of Facebook's most famous sheep are Instagram and WhatsApp. Instagram is a mobile photo and video sharing service which sold to Facebook in 2012 for $1 billion US. WhatsApp is an instant messaging app which allows users to send texts, voice recordings, photos, or videos to their peers. The app was bought by Facebook in 2014 for a whopping $19 billion US. Interestingly, Facebook paid large amounts for both of these apps, although neither were making outstanding revenue. So this raises the question, why did Facebook make this move? While there is some dissent amongst the motives through observers, the answer ultimately lies with Facebook's corporate strategy. Both Instagram and WhatsApp had offensive and defensive value to Facebook. Both apps were characterized by uncharted growth in just their initial stages and continued to attract large amounts of users. The large user base enables aggressive monetization once products reach their mass scale. It may therefore be argued that they paid the future potential of both applications rather than just their current value, especially because both WhatsApp and Instagram run on low costs, which should make them very profitable long term. Ultimately, both acquisitions allowed Facebook to both own the next Facebook and then prevent the next Facebook from eating from Facebook's lunch. In summary, it's necessary to understand that Facebook did not use its excess money to erode competition. Well, at least not solely. Instead, the company realized that not everyone likes Facebook and that users have different needs which need to be catered for with standalone products to deliver individual experiences. The result is a conglomerate which provides a computing platform which serves varied customer segments. And indeed, each brand from Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp all the way to Instagram occupy a distinct territory on the social space. Nevertheless, the brands are not separated from one another. They are in fact similar, and Facebook Incorporated has been able to create synergies between its brands by utilizing the network effects and the known talent it acquired together with its brands. This enables Facebook Incorporated to improve each of its products individually and the corporation as a whole. This type of strategy, also described as the unbundling of a company's offerings, is likely to enhance Facebook's competitive position in the future for several reasons. Firstly, Facebook will be able to stay ahead of customer needs. Second, the company will be able to safeguard from competitive risk. As Facebook becomes more meaningful to customers, the chance of being felled by a single savvy competitor is reduced. The aspects of meaningfulness is also enhanced by Facebook's move of linking some of the apps, which, for example, enable users to find friends on Instagram through their Facebook or to share photos from Instagram on Facebook. Third, while Facebook Incorporated allows many of its acquired companies to keep doing what they are doing and enables them to flourish on their own, it will ultimately take charge one day and heavily monetize each brand. This will mainly be achieved through Facebook's platform strategy, which aims to build the next major computing platform connecting users with businesses. According to Facebook's CEO, the company aims to build the social technology necessary to create partnerships while other companies provide the media. This means in essence that Facebook does not want users to watch movies through its apps. Instead, the company will provide the platform needed to connect as many users as possible with those businesses that do want them to watch movies on their own site. Ultimately, this is exactly what differentiates Facebook from its key competitors Google, Apple, and Microsoft, who would typically go and build new products themselves. Microsoft, for example, has probably been the most famous for developing leading personal computer software systems and applications. However, with the shift to SaaS delivery models and the emergence of the new cloud and mobile-based options such as Google Docs, Microsoft is unable to continue to solely rely on their software identity for sustained success, especially because competitors such as Apple now focus on revenues through hardware sale and provide free software updates to customers. In contrast to Facebook, Microsoft's corporate identity has been based on acquisition since the very start. Nonetheless, the company's acquisition strategy changed over time. It seems at first as if the objective was to maintain the company's dominance in the software market, evident by their acquisition of DataZen and OneTree Softwares. However, in the following years, Microsoft seemed to broaden its approach by acquiring more unrelated companies such as A-Quantitative, an advertising agency, and Mojang, a video game developer. Although Microsoft has clearly proven its willingness to make big deals, just look at Nokia, Skype, Yammer, and Mojang. The company's choices did not appear to be part of a cohesive corporate strategy. However, as Microsoft has acquired companies, they've made many faults, meaning they were unable to sustain their new competitive landscape, leading to poor execution and loss of these companies' strategic plan after acquisition. Additionally, Microsoft didn't end up doing enough in cloud and mobile. In early vision that social media would become important, Microsoft tried to buy Facebook but ultimately failed. Although the company had the right instinct, it had no idea how to tap into a social networking market and utilize the large user base to make money in advertising. After appointing a new CEO in 2014, Microsoft seems to have now found a clearer corporate acquisition strategy, which focuses predominantly on cloud-based services. Microsoft's recent failure to position itself in the new competitive landscape has less to do with theoretical strategic underpinnings than with the execution of its strategic plan post-acquisition. In accordance with the company's new strategy, Microsoft has this year finally been able to acquire its own social networking service, LinkedIn. However, since the Silicon Valley seems to be obsessed with scale, and LinkedIn is at this stage insufficiently enormous, we think it's unlikely for Microsoft to tap into the advertising business, which is mainly dominated by Facebook and Google. Instead, Microsoft appears to have wanted LinkedIn for its detailed data about workers, which can eventually be incorporated into services such as Outlook, Skype, and Cortana to make these services more engaging. Additionally, Microsoft's acquisition of LinkedIn has emphasized their focus towards cultivating a larger presence within the business community, adding to their adjustments of Skype as an essential business tool for companies when conducting web conferences. LinkedIn, in conjunction with Skype, provides Microsoft with its successful corporate strategy as they've established a dominance in the communication platform amongst professionals. So while Facebook has taken advantage of its user base to develop cohesive social graphs, giving insight into specific overall consumer behavior, Microsoft sits at the source of overall corporate trends with the data collected through LinkedIn, Skype, Office, and Azure. This provides Microsoft with, again, new business opportunities and also giving it the opportunity to at least partly differentiate itself from the main competitors. Microsoft's purchase of Skype from prior owner eBay is a prime example of Microsoft's parroting advantage. The company was triumphant in creating more value than their competitors, indicating a strong presence within the heartland of the matrix. In terms of growth, Skype's market share in international calls grew from 13% to 34% since the Microsoft acquisition, and its number of simultaneous users grew from 27 million to more than 50 million in roughly the same time frame. On top of that, its 2013 sales expected to hit $2 billion, up from $800 million 2 years prior. The immense growth in Skype is also reflected on the entirety of Microsoft, which has expected earnings growth of almost 8% per year. Although Microsoft is a mature company, its multitude of brands should keep it continuously relevant and connected in the future. Most of Microsoft's major acquisitions can be recognized as cash cows, such as Skype and Hotmail, which have led to a sharp increase in market dominance.